Hello Ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to Assassin's Creed Yule Festival. It is here. I didn't cover the patch notes this week as I was hoping both this sets of information was going to come out at the same time, but in the end they put the patch out a good couple days beforehand. So the patch, you should know by now, fixes all of your trophies. It shows it all on the wall now. Loads of adjustments to missions and bugs basically not happening, not working correctly. It's all been fixed, a lot of it, so it's good stuff. They've also changed some of the NPCs, enemies. Some of them are now going to work, or they're going to be harder to beat or easier to beat. They're pretty much going to be gated a bit more in terms of levels. I won't go through that stuff too much as, like I said, it's a few days old, but we have got more info about the incoming raids, and obviously that Yule Festival adds a brand new explorable area for Ravensthorpe, makes it all lovely and snowy, and there are some new mini games that you can take part in to earn rewards. I'm going to go through them as well and show you which ones give you the most tokens so you can spend in the brand new festival shop. And just when you think Ubisoft have turned the corner and are not doing some dodgy stuff, they've added the XP booster packs to the Helix store with this update. It's a shame, but they're there now. You can go ahead and buy double experience boosts or silver boosts. It's a real shame of doing this. It really taints what I think is otherwise a fantastic game and a pretty good launch for this game this year. But let's go through the Yule Festival stuff. You'll notice there's a brand new area. You've got the Yule shop, you've got a nice campfire, there's a new fighting arena, there's a new archery event, and there's a new drinking competition. All three of these will give you more Yule tokens that you can spend in a Yule shop, where you can get new armor sets, new cosmetic items as well. The fighting minigame is 10 fights. I kid you not, you've got to go through 10 of these to get a bunch of the tokens. So I got through 10 of these fights and I got 70 tokens. It took me nearly 15 to 20 minutes to do this, guys. Just a bit buggy. Maybe when it's working it's okay. The first few fights are okay, they're pretty easy, and then you'll have a couple of fights where the enemies can pretty much just keep dodging even though you are hitting them, or you should be. You'll eventually get bigger and harder enemies thrown into the mix a little bit as well, like wrestlers, and they could be quite challenging because it seems like you just cannot dodge that big ability. Well, not all the time anyway. But eventually you win out, and yeah, you'll get yourself 70 tokens to spend. I presume if you drop out, which gives you the chance to, after every fight, it will reduce how many tokens you get, so you might only end up getting 20 or 40 or 50. I think probably one of the easiest ones is maybe the drinking contest, although you only get 10 Yule tokens for defeating him. He's not particularly challenging. I've definitely come across some of the harder ones out in the open world, and it only takes a couple minutes to do each one, so I think it roughly will be quicker to go through maybe 7 drinking competitions to get the same sort of amount of tokens. You'll find the festival shop where you can buy some brand new items. You see you've got 20 days. This lasts until the 7th of January, so you've got till then to take part in all these side events. It's okay. I wouldn't say it's the world's biggest or bestest event. It's nice seeing Ravensthorpe covered in snow. Makes me kind of wish that it could have come and taken over the whole of the map. That would have been super cool. But you've got some new decorations as well, and I'm going to go through them, but I'll probably go through them at the end of the video. And then the third event that you can take part is another archery competition, this time with spinning targets, red, yellow and green. I'm guessing that the green give you the least amount of points, then yellow, then red. So always aim for the red, and obviously I would say make sure you've got not the hunter bow, you want just a light bow so you can ping the shots off really super quick. Some of this stuff does feel like it's just a bit unfleshed or finished. There's no like point counter to show you exactly how many points you've got or how many of these targets give you what. And it would have been nice to have it on the right hand side, and you get roughly 2 minutes to hit as many targets as you can. Eventually when you do it, that's when it's going to total up obviously the scores. I think I got like 1200, or was it 2000 points, something stupid. Yeah, 1215 points, and that got me a grand total of 40. I would say the archery is definitely the easiest and quickest way to get these tokens. So just keep repeating it and hopefully you can keep earning as many tokens as you want from her. It's definitely a lot quicker than taking part in the fights. And like I said, as long as you've got a decent light bow, you should be able to make quick work of them. Lots of nice little touches scattered all around the encampment. Little nice little place you can go. And obviously you can put your new decorations all over as well. So before we move on to the stuff about the raids, well, yeah, here we are. Permanent XP boost. They've done this in Odyssey, and there was this big kafur that it says they really maybe gated experience. Like you got to a certain level and you couldn't progress with the story until you got to like another 20 levels. And it did feel like pretty horrible. Like lots of people pretty much said they'd done it on purpose so that you'd have to go and buy an XP boost or simply just grind out really repetitive side missions. So we kind of felt like, well done Ubisoft. They've not done it this time, but it looks like they have added it in slyly. Maybe when people are trying to not notice as much, alongside obviously free content, so you can now go and buy them XP. I know they're optional, but there is always going to be people complaining and saying that you're making your game more grindy just so that you can get more money out of them, not because necessarily it fits that game. I would say Assassin's Creed Valhalla isn't as sort of blatant as it was with Odyssey. I don't feel like stuff has been put in on purpose. I felt like you can go and complete a lot of the stuff under leveled. So yeah, maybe not in this instance, but it's still just pretty shady. There's some new skins and stuff added to it as well. And on the 22nd, I do believe, they're going to be adding a brand new set, which has got a pretty cool sort of blue wyvern. The Niflheim set obviously adds some new cool armor to it as well. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of this stuff, but that wyvern does look pretty cool. Right, let's start covering the raids, and pretty much this is going to be beginning in February, so we've got a long old time. This event will run to the January the 7th, and then there'll be a bit of time between then and the raid. It's actually going to offer 3 new maps. Now this is new to me. I thought they'd just have a mission that replays along one of the rivers in England, but it looks like they're going to add new areas like the Vinlands or even Asgard, where you'll go and take part in these events, specifically where it will have a river maybe filled with increasingly harder forts. That's what I'm getting from this, that you will be able to use and rank up some of your guys, your Jomsvikings, and pretty much you're going to need to make sure you got your Jomsviking Hall pretty much unlocked by this point. FYI as well, the winter event stuff, you do need to have unlocked one area before you can actually see all the changes. So like Grantsbridge or Leicestershire, that's the requirement to have all the snowy stuff, and some of that other stuff unlocked is that you have done one of the areas. So if you picked up Assassin's Creed, you've been given it for like as a gift and you've not seen it pop straight up, that is why. But yeah, back to the raids. They're going to offer brand new runes, new books of knowledge, and a lot more new gear. And I like the idea of this one. Like I said, I hope it is that case. You'll go down a river on a brand new stretch. Not a big, huge map that you'll go exploring, but just particularly for this raid. And then it's a case of getting harder and harder as you go along. Maybe there'll be challenges. That's what I really want to see, is that you've got to clear one raid within 3 minutes. Set alight to 10 houses in 2 minutes. Defeat all members of the enemies or in a certain way, or don't lose your guys. Like, I'm waiting for that to kick in. I'm pretty sure you're meant to be able to lose your Jomsvikings. Like, some of them can be killed in battle, and that's never really happened to me in the game. Like, there's no worry, there's no panic. I'd like you to be able to actually have it as a proper game where you could upgrade them, maybe kit them out in the right gear, and yeah, maybe there could be an instance where you might lose them at least in the battle, and then not just being downed, but permanently, and that would make it the rest of it harder. So hopefully they're considering some of that stuff to make the Jomsviking mechanic just worthwhile, because at the moment it's pretty useless. You can use the most basic raiders, you don't ever have to change or get them better gear, and they'll do more or less the same sort of job in helping you. And just returning to the rest of the gear and stuff, how it looks, so you don't have to waste your money or time. I really like some of this stuff. I like particularly the Seek's blade. It looks pretty decent in terms of giving critical hits after killing someone. That's a pretty unique one. I don't think I've seen too many times. And then some of this other stuff is okay. Like the trees with the decorations on it is pretty. Here's the Yule garlands that you can put on. That's all right. At first I thought it was little skulls. I was like, oh my god, this is like the worst Christmas ever. And then we've got the sacrificial altar, which was a bit lackluster actually. I was expecting it to be a lot more, I don't know, more spooky or more macabre, but it ends up just being a tiny little bowl with a tiny little deer head on it. And then you've got ritual tree ornaments which you can put down, and they're pretty nice as well. I like them. Just add in a bit more so you can make all of your places with all these little bowers in the middle. And I quite like the little flames at the front on it, and a little bowl too. And then the cozy fire pit, here you go. Yeah, again, not really that pleased with this one. I thought it'd be a bit bigger, the pit, and you can't even sit down. You can't even actually sit down and take part in the cozy little fire pit here. And just show you what the main tree looks like with the decorations, the winter decorations. And that's pretty, it's quite nice, like the yellows and the red little ribbons. So there we go, folks. That is the Yuletide Festival done and dusted. It took me about 35 minutes to get enough to buy all the cosmetic items in terms of like decorations. The armor pieces are all cost 60 each, so you're going to have to do like maybe an archery and maybe a fight or at least, yeah, one fight to get one piece. So you're going to have to do that at least 5 or 6 times to get the brand new set of armour. It's free content. I can't really shout at it for being that bad, but it's not necessarily as big or as involved as I thought it was going to be. It does say you can earn some tokens by helping out some of the other people in the settlement as well, but I haven't come across anything that gives me any extra rewards. Maybe it will just dish them out every now and then while you're doing some more missions, but it looks like this is the only way so far that I've seen where you can actually earn the tokens. Is this enough to draw you back into Assassin's Creed Valhalla if you've already completed the game? Like I said, I've still got a bit to do. I've not finished it. I've still got maybe 2 or 3 regions left, and I really want to make sure I get that done. So I'm going to be live streaming some of that over the holidays. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to give you more news about them raids, which free maps they're going to be, and how it all works when we get that info, which will probably be after Christmas. And I can't imagine we're going to get an update now until well after Christmas now, way into January. But absolutely my favourite part of this update, which obviously went live a few days ago, is of course adding the trophies. I've defeated all of these legendary creatures and I've finally got to show them all off in my longhouse. I've only got the stone bears to do in Jotunheim, and that is it. I've done every single one. So have a great Christmas, winter holidays. Let me know how you're feeling about the update, and I'll see you right back with some more Assassin's Creed updates in the new year.